Hello, my noble band of outlaws. Outlaw Samurai coming at you live with a video with the kriegsmesser. And I realized I never actually showed all of y'all the scabbard I made in the last video. So here it is. Basically, cardboard tube cut the shape of the sword. This leather sword frog actually came with the kriegsmesser. So, forgot to put that in the review. This comes with the kriegsmesser. The belt I bought at Dollar General. But, as you can see, yeah, there's rattle and everything, but it basically does what a scabbard's supposed to do, and it protects you from the blade. I'm going to try to make a more traditional-ish scabbard later on, but this video is a history video on the kriegsmesser and why and how this sword came into being. Now, in order for us to know how the kriegsmesser came into being, we need to know about 15th century Germany, where this sword was created. And I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. So, little bit of a rundown. And if you want to know a more detailed version of this, check out Shatterversity on YouTube. That's where I got a lot of this information from. So, quote Shad. So, in the 15th century, basically, you had guilds everywhere. Knife guild, sword guild, baker guild, craftsman's guild, carpenter's guild. Guilds ran everything. I know, it sounds like a D&D scenario, but no, these guilds were more like companies in the modern day, if you think about it. So you had a knife company and a sword company. Well, in any case, the law of 15th century Germany, and I know that this isn't a peened longsword. I should point that out. Peening is going to be crucial in understanding this, but it works the same ways for the demonstration. So, in the 15th century, sword guilds could only make what their guild was licensed to make, basically. So a baker guild could only make baked goods. Carpenter's guild could only make furniture and other wooden projects. And sword and knife guilds could only make swords and knives. So, what this meant was that if you wanted a sword, you had to go to a sword guild. If you wanted a knife, you had to go to a knife guild. Well, that's where the kriegsmesser comes in. Because technically, this are the same. And you're probably thinking, Outlaw Samurai, you've lost your damn mind. That's clearly a sword. No, because by 15th century German law, this was classified as a knife. Yeah. And I'm going to clarify that in a second. So, the difference between the longsword and the kriegsmesser is actually in the hilt construction. And I know what you're going to say, falchions are the same. But I don't have a falchion, so we're going to use longsword. Now, by 15th century German law, a sword had a cross guard, or any kind of guard, a grip, a pommel, and was peened over itself. A knife had rivets and handle scales. Well, somewhere along the line, one of the knife guilds, don't know which one, I don't think Shad mentioned which one did it either, but somewhere along the line, one of the knife guilds decided to basically test the waters and see how far they could go with that law because there's a lot of gray area. You watch the live action version of Aladdin, Will Smith's genie says, there's a lot of gray area. I could make you a prince. Summons a prince over in the horizon. Yeah, you're going to sleep with him the rest of your life, Aladdin. The key is in the details. And it's the same with the kriegsmesser. You see, while the blade is actually what we would consider the size of a sword blade, by 15th century German law, because this had handle scales and rivets and a full tang that ran the full length of the grip, because of its construction alone, and because every inch of it was riveted and peened, this was classified as a knife. Hence why it's called a kriegsmesser, or war knife. Kriegs meaning war, and messer meaning knife. That's how the messer, the long messer, the gross messer, and the kriegsmesser all came into being. Was because some genius German redneck, Slingshot Channel shout out, some genius German redneck decided, I'm going to make a knife the size of a sword and no one can say nothing because it ain't peened on the end. Because I built it like a knife. So that is the kriegsmesser as a whole. Because of the that is the very brief history of the kriegsmesser. So, yeah, technically this is a knife. I know. My first response when I heard this was, what do they consider swords over there? But yeah, this is technically considered a knife. If we're going by the 15th century German laws. Nowadays we easily call this thing a sword, but still. So, I hope that this was informative. Remember, check out Shadowversity for much more detailed, in-depth dive on this. This was just really a very brief and overly simplified explanation. So until next time, my noble band of outlaw samurai tells all y'all, be crazy rednecks, be safe in using your weapons. I'm out. Peace.